discover the incredible moment a husband's betrayal led to life-changing justice for his wife. Emily Lane stood on her porch, the sun spilling over the quiet Midwestern streets, where laughter echoed from backyard barbecues and children raced by on bikes. At 35, she was the heart and soul of her family, a devoted mother who always put her 2 kids first above everything else. She worked long hours at the local grocery store, making sure her family had everything they needed. But everything shattered when she discovered that Jake, her charming husband and the love of her life, had traded their shared dreams for a younger woman. The betrayal twisted in her chest, a knife that cut deeper with each beat of her heart. As Emily struggled to breathe through the sudden heaviness of loss, her neighbors rallied around her. They brought casseroles and desserts, their faces a mix of pity and determination, urging her to stay strong. Like an old Marianne Faithfull song, the words "you will survive" whispered in her ear. Her friends reminded her of family picnics and tailgate parties, moments woven into the fabric of their small, tight-knit community. They encouraged her to stand tall, to rebuild, even as the ground seemed to shift beneath her. But with each passing day, she discovered something even darker. Jake didn't just leave her. He had been embezzling funds from a charity meant to help local children. Anger erupted within her, a rising tide of feelings she had never known before. The thought of those innocent kids, their dreams now at risk, ignited a fire in Emily. This was more than a personal betrayal. It was a breach of trust that could tear apart her whole community. Torn between the instinct to protect her children and the relentless pursuit of justice, her heart raced with fervor. The whispers around town grew louder, fueled by Emily's discovery. They were filled with disbelief and rage as she faced her doubts. She paced her kitchen, her hands trembling as she thought of her kids, their innocent faces, blissfully unaware. Would they still love their father? Would she lose everything if she spoke up? But everywhere she looked, she saw the faces of families she knew, each relying on that charity for their children's future. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. One evening, as the sun set, Emily found herself standing before her bathroom mirror, eyes red from tears and sleepless nights. The reflection staring back at her was no longer a victim. She was a warrior beginning to rise. She started to gather support, her friends beside her, united in the belief that the town deserved better. The town meeting was buzzing with anticipation. As Emily stepped up to the podium, her heart pounded in time with her resolve. Would she break the silence? Would she expose Jake for what he truly was? The air thickened with tension, every breath a mixture of fear and hope. Could one woman's fight for justice change the fabric of her community's moral compass forever? Emily took a deep breath, her palms clammy against the podium. The room was packed, neighbors, friends, and even strangers who had heard whispers of her fight. Their eyes met hers, full of curiosity, some thinly veiled judgment, and a flicker of hope. This was it. The moment she had been preparing for, practicing in front of that same bathroom mirror. "Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice shaking slightly. She looked at her friends in the front row, their supportive nods offering her strength. "I know we have always stood together as a community, and I need your strength now." The tension was palpable. The air was electric, filled with the energy of anticipation. "I thought I was just dealing with my own heartbreak, but I realized it goes much deeper than that." She paused, uncertain. Could she really say it all? Taking another breath, she pressed on. "Jake, my husband, he has not only broken our family, but has put the future of our children and many others at risk." Gasps rippled through the crowd. She could see the disbelief wash over faces she had known for years. "He embezzled money from the very charity that was meant to help our children. He took from those who needed it most. And I can't stand by while he destroys lives." A murmur of astonished voices mixed with low gasps echoed in the room. With each word, Emily felt her courage swell. "I know my kids love him, and that makes this so much harder. But those kids, those innocent kids, deserve better. They deserve a future." She glanced at the crowd, searching for signs of understanding, encouragement. She spotted Mrs. Johnson, the school principal, and Mrs. Campbell, whose children had benefited from the charity. Their unwavering eyes filled her with hope. Before she could falter, Emily raised her voice, steadying herself. "I've talked to other mothers. I've met with families. We will not stay silent. Are we going to let one man's actions define our community, our future?" The audience stirred, and the energy shifted. "We are going to stand together. We deserve transparency. We deserve justice." Emily's heart raced as people began to nod, murmurs turning into whispers of agreement. "Together, we can bring this into the light. I'm ready to fight for my children, for your children, and for our community. Who's with me?" Cheers broke out across the room. It started as a ripple, but quickly became a wave of collective resolve. In that moment, Emily felt renewed strength flood through her. Among the echoes of support, the whispers of bravery seemed to ignite the hearts of those who had perhaps felt powerless before. As the meeting wrapped up, people approached her with hands on her shoulders, offering words of solidarity and promises to stand by her side. But deep inside, a shadow of doubt flickered. What would Jake's reaction be? Would he fight back? That night, Emily lay awake, the weight of the decision bearing down like a brick. Could she truly handle what was to come? The thrill of momentum met the gnawing fear of his reprisal. Just then, her phone buzzed on the nightstand, lighting up with an unexpected message. Confused, she reached for it, her heart racing. It was from a number she didn't recognize. "I know what Jake did. We need to talk." Suddenly, the path ahead seemed darker and more dangerous than ever. Who was this person? What did they know? Emily's heart raced again. This wasn't just a fight for her family anymore. It was deeper, more tangled. She had just taken a step into a much larger battle than she had anticipated. And in that moment, she understood. The fight for justice was not just about exposing the truth, it was about survival. What awaited her as she stepped further into the shadowy depths of deception? Emily sat up in bed, gripping her phone tightly. The message blinked back at her. "I know what Jake did. We need to talk." Her heart pounded in her chest. Who was this stranger? And how much did they really know? The atmosphere in her room felt stifling, filled with dread and anticipation. She slipped out of bed, pacing the small space, her mind racing. In a world where every word could lead to danger, she felt exposed. The shadows of her home crept closer, as if mirroring the darkness she felt inside. Should she respond? What if this person was just trying to manipulate her? The thought sent chills down her spine. But the knowledge that someone else out there held a piece of her fractured puzzle drew her in. Perhaps they could help her make sense of everything. Taking a deep breath, she decided to reply. She typed slowly, forcing herself to stay calm. "Who are you? What do you know?" The wait for a response felt like an eternity, each tick of the clock echoing in the silence of the night. Just as she thought about giving up, her phone buzzed again. "Meet me at the coffee shop on Maple Street tomorrow at noon. I'll explain everything." The simple words weighed heavily. She hadn't even considered this coffee shop. It was a place where she used to take her kids for hot chocolate, where laughter and joy once filled her life. Now, it felt tainted, a reminder of what she stood to lose. That night, sleep eluded her. Images of Jake haunted her mind of smiles, laughter, and the sheer disappointment that had replaced them. What had she missed? How could she have overlooked the signs? Doubts swirled like storm clouds, but she pushed them down. She had chosen a brave path, and backing out now wasn't an option. Morning came with a gray sky overhead. Each raindrop against her window mirrored her mood. She dressed slowly, feeling as if each layer of clothing weighed her down. Walking into that coffee shop would be a declaration, a commitment to uncover the truth, whatever that might bring. She arrived a few minutes early, the familiar smell of coffee wafting through the air like a comforting embrace. But instead of warmth, all she felt was cold uncertainty. A glance around showed small tables filled with chatter and laughter, completely oblivious to her turmoil. There, at the far corner, sat a woman with dark hair, her hands wrapped around a steaming cup. Emily's heart raced again. This could be the key to unlocking everything she had fought against. With a deep breath, she approached. "Are you?" Emily hesitated, the words getting stuck in her throat. Did she really want to know just how deeply Jake's betrayal ran? The woman lifted her gaze, steady and sincere. "I'm here to help." Emily sat down, the moment heavy with anticipation. "What do you know about Jake?" she asked, her voice trembling. The woman leaned closer, and Emily braced herself for the impact of truth. But just as she opened her mouth to speak, a familiar figure crossed the cafe entrance, his eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that stopped her heart cold. Jake. The world around them faded as he approached, a forced smile plastered across his face. "Emily!" he called out, his voice far too casual for the atmosphere thick with tension. In that moment, everything came to a head. What had only moments ago been a path forward had suddenly turned chaotic. What did he want? And more importantly, how deep did this darkness run? With the weight of secrets swirling around her, Emily knew this wasn't just about her marriage anymore. The stakes had been raised. Would she fight back, or would it be too late? As Jake drew closer, the stakes intensified. All she could think was, would the truth set her free, or would it only tighten the chains? The confrontation was inevitable. And as she met his gaze, she felt a surge of determination rise in her chest. What would she decide in that critical moment? Emily's heart thundered as Jake stopped just a few feet from her. His eyes darted between her and the woman sitting across from her, a flicker of panic flashing across his face. "Hey! What is going on?" He forced a smile, but there was no warmth in his tone. It felt like a mask, hiding the truth that both women could sense lingering in the air. "Jake," Emily started, her voice steadying even as the pit in her stomach swirled with doubt. She could sense the woman tensing next to her. This was her moment. The confrontation she'd been dreading and yearning for all at once. "What are you doing here?" she finally managed to say, cutting through the balmy atmosphere of the cafe that felt suddenly hostile and prickly. "Just grabbing a coffee," Jake said, his eyes narrowing, sensing the tension. "What about you?" Emily wanted to scream, to lash out at the man whose charm had once swept her off her feet, but now felt like poison coursing through her veins. Instead, she stayed calm, remembering the resolve she felt earlier. "I was just talking to someone who knows the truth about you." Jake's composure fractured for just a second, and the flick of vulnerability sent a jolt through her. Maybe he wasn't so untouchable after all. The woman shifted in her seat, eyes wide, waiting for the storm to break. "I don't know what you think you heard, but that's not true," Jake insisted, feigning confidence but unable to mask the tremor in his voice. The very denial rang hollow, echoing all the unspoken truths lingering between them. The woman cleared her throat, and Jake's attention snapped back to her. "You're Jake, right?" she asked, a mix of challenge and curiosity in her tone. Emily noted the slight tremor in her voice. "Yeah," he he replied, guarded. And who are you? Just someone who knows what you did, she said flatly, her gaze piercing through him. Emily deserves to know the whole story. Jake's face paled, and for the first time, the casual bravado cracked. What are you talking about? His voice dipped, betraying a hint of concern. Emily felt a surge of courage, fueled by years of doubts and fears bubbling to the surface. Maybe you should tell me what I've been missing these past few months, instead of pretending everything is fine. A moment of silence hung in the air, thick as fog. Patrons at nearby tables could sense the tension, their insignificant chatter fading into hushed whispers. Jake seemed to deflate, his bravado replaced by a defensive posture. Emily, please, he began, his tone shifting to one of desperation. It's not what you think. Then tell me what I should think, she shot back, every word like a fragile glass shattering against the brick wall of deceit they had built together. The moment hung like the last remaining thread of a once sturdy tapestry, unraveling rapidly. Time slowed, and Emily caught the first glimpse of tears forming in Jake's eyes, a reflection of the chaos they had created together. Let us talk. Privately, he pleaded, glancing at the woman again who regarded him with judgment. Emily's heart raced. This wasn't just about trust. This was about understanding who they truly were to each other. You don't get to decide how our story ends anymore, she stated firmly. The woman at the table leaned forward, eyes bright with the fire of truth. Emily, don't let him pull you back in. You deserve honesty. You deserve respect. The warmth of her words lit something deep within Emily, a flicker of belief reclaiming its space in her heart. Just then, Jake reached out, desperation clawing at his features. Emily, please, but she had a choice now. She could choose to discover the truth, to confront the shadows haunting their marriage. Or she could walk away, a decision that could finally lead her to freedom. As she stood there torn, the noise of the cafe faded. All she could hear was the pounding of her own heart. In that moment, she understood one vital truth. The past was shaping her future, but it was her choice how to move forward. Tell me, she demanded, or I'm out of here. With the clock ticking and eyes watching, the question lingered in the air like an open wound. Would he reveal the darkness that lay beneath their shared memories, or cling to the lies that had unraveled them both? As she waited for his response, Emily felt her world tilt once more, with the stakes rising higher than ever before. Jake inhaled deeply, the weight of the moment pressing down hard on his shoulders. His thoughts raced like a runaway train, but he could feel the stares of the other patrons piercing through the fog of panic. He glanced around as if hoping for escape, then his gaze fell back on Emily's resolute face, burning with determination. Emily, I never meant for you to find out this way, he stammered, his voice trembling. The vulnerability in his tone made her stomach churn. There were things I thought I could handle myself. I thought it was for the best. For the best? Emily interjected, her voice rising slightly. You kept secrets from me, Jake. How could that ever be for the best? The woman sitting with Emily leaned forward, her eyes darting between the two. You owe her the truth, Jake. It's the least you can do. There was a steely power behind her words, a sense of righteousness that made Emily feel braver. I was scared, Jake finally confessed, his defenses crumbling. I did something I'm not proud of. I got involved with someone else. The words seemed to hang in the air, as heavy as lead, as Emily absorbed their meaning. A rush of emotion surged through her: betrayal, anger, and a deep-seated sadness that felt like a gaping wound. So that's it? Months of lies? A whole other life, while I was here believing we were fine. Each word dripped with disbelief. He nodded, his shoulders drooping, as if the very act of confession had siphoned his strength. I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to lose our life together. But I'm sorry, Emily. The sting of that apology struck her like a slap. Sorry felt so small against the backdrop of what he'd done. Sorry doesn't he fix the hours I've lost, the moments I thought everything was okay. What was your plan? To just keep lying until I found out on my own? I thought I could end it, he said desperately, searching her face for forgiveness that she wasn't ready to give. It was a mistake that spiraled out of control. I never wanted to hurt you. The woman leaned back, her expression unreadable. Emily realized she didn't even know her name, but in that moment, she felt a strange bond with her. This stranger understood. You made a choice, Jake, Emily said, her voice steadying. And that choice wasn't just about you. Jake flinched, confusion flickering across his face. I can fix this. We can move on. We can get through it together. Together? She echoed, incredulous. You think I can just forget this? That we can just pretend this never happened? There are scars that won't heal so easily. He opened his mouth to protest but faltered, realizing that no amount of pleading would change the truth of his betrayal. Emily felt tears welling up as suddenly the weight of it all overwhelmed her. Maybe you need to figure out what you want, she continued fiercely, fear clawing at her heart. Because I'm not staying just to comfort your guilt. The woman beside her nodded, an approving smile quirking her lips. You're stronger than you know, Emily. It's not about his choices anymore. It's about yours. In that moment, Emily felt a shift within herself. She wasn't helpless or afraid anymore. There was a mix of anger and empowerment building up inside her. Her heart ached, but there was also clarity. The hurt could teach her something vital. Jake, I need time, she finally said, her voice firmer than it had been moments prior. I can't let your mistakes dictate my life. I have to think about me. He looked stricken, and for a moment, she considered the possibility of compassion. But then she remembered the countless nights lost in doubt, the happiness she'd once felt swept from beneath her. I'm walking away now, she stated, her heart pounding. And you need to respect that. As she turned to leave, the weight of the decision felt thrilling yet terrifying. Was she making the right choice? But as she stepped out into the cool air, she took a deep breath, feeling like the first stroke of liberation had begun. Would stepping away be enough to reclaim her life? Or would the ghosts of Jake's betrayal follow her into the daylight? The street felt alive with the hum of the city, just as Emily stepped out of the cafe. The chatter of people mixed with the distant sound of car horns, but all she could hear was the pounding of her heart in her ears. Hot tears threatened to spill over, but she blinked them back. How had she let herself be swept along for so long, trusting in something that had turned to dust? For a moment, she stood beneath a streetlight, her breath coming in deep, shaky gulps. The evening air brushed against her skin, crisp and cool, and she relished that chill. It grounded her. Freedom? It tasted sweet on her tongue, even with the bitterness of betrayal still settling in her throat. Hey! The woman from the cafe jogged out after her, a rush of determination in every step. Emily, wait! Emily turned to face her, surprised at the sudden interruption. I'm sorry, I know, don't apologize. You were amazing in there. The woman's eyes sparkled with a warmth that felt comforting. I'm Lucy. I just knew I had to come after you. Why? Emily asked, her voice shaky, the edges still raw. I don't even know you. True, Lucy chuckled softly, but I've been where you are. Seeing someone you love crumble before your eyes, realizing that everything you thought was true suddenly isn't. It's crushing. Yeah, it is, Emily admitted, crossing her arms as if to protect herself from both the chilling air and the turmoil swirling inside her. But I'll figure it out. I have to figure it out. Finding yourself doesn't have to be a lonely journey, Lucy said, her voice steady. What you did today walking away? It's the start of you reclaiming your life. For the first time since the reveal, a flicker of hope ignited within Emily. But what if I can't? What if I can't keep going? Then don't, came Lucy's reply, sharp yet encouraging. Don't put pressure on yourself. Let the feelings flow. Allow yourself to grieve. You're strong enough to withstand it. Emily felt a rush of gratitude swell within her. How can you be so sure? Because Lucy paused, her expression softening. I can see it in you. You may feel broken now, but this is where you rise. Just keep taking those steps forward. A moment stretched between them, an unspoken understanding forming in the air. Emily finally managed a small smile, her heart easing just a notch. I don't know what comes next, she asked, eyes cast downward, the fear growing once again. Only you can shape that. But remember, it's okay to ask for help. It doesn't make you weak. Lucy placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Tell me if you need someone to talk to. I'd love to be your friend. A soft laugh escaped Emily's lips, somewhere between disbelief and relief. Could I really? I don't know if I can even trust myself right now. That's exactly the point, Lucy said, her voice firm yet gentle. You're at a storm of emotions, and it's messy. But among the chaos, you'll find clarity. One small step at a time. As they stood there, city lights twinkling above, Emily could feel the first stirrings of determination. Maybe walking away had just been an act of defiance. It could be a gateway to possibilities she couldn't yet see. Okay, I'll try, she finally said, her heart lifting just a little. But it wouldn't be easy. I wouldn't want it to be. Lucy smiled brightly, infectious in her warmth. It's the hard lessons that lead us home. Emily took a deep breath, hopeful for the first time. Could she rebuild? Could she find her way back to herself? As they began to walk together, a sense of companionship blossomed. Still, the memory of Jake lingered, the uncertainty of how it would all play out gnawed at her insides. But perhaps, with someone by her side, the path would feel a little less daunting. Maybe today was just the beginning, she said, glancing sideways at Lucy. It absolutely was, Lucy agreed. And remember, you're not alone in this. Just then, Emily froze, her breath hitching in her throat, as an undeniable realization struck her. What was ahead wasn't just about healing from Jake's betrayal. It was about redefining who she was. But as she ventured into this unknown territory, the weight of Jake's actions still loomed large. Would she really be able to leave it all behind, or would old memories chase her down, demanding a reckoning with their ghosts? The evening had turned into night, but Emily felt a flicker of light within. She took another deep breath, preparing to forge a new path one day at a time. Would the strength she found be enough to guide her through the tumultuous journey ahead? The next few days blurred together like paints running into each other. Emily found herself tangled in a web of thoughts and emotions. It was overwhelming and exhausting. The thrill of newfound freedom pumped energy through her veins, but shadows of doubt draped over her like a heavy blanket. Lucy's companionship became a lifeline. She texted daily, checking in, and asked Emily to join her for coffee or a walk. Each time, Emily felt a flicker of warmth, like sunlight peeking through thick clouds. The trust Lucy extended poured into their budding friendship, anchoring Emily as she navigated the choppy waters of her heart. One afternoon, as they strolled through a nearby park, Emily spotted a couple laughing together, their hands entwined. A pang shot through her chest, and she instinctively looked away. Lucy, ever observant, caught her reaction. Hey, it's okay to feel that. You're in a processing phase, remember? It's normal, Lucy said gently, slowing her pace to match Emily's. Emily sighed, feeling heavy inside. I just thought I'd be over that by now. It's like this constant reminder I can't escape. You want to escape it overnight. And you shouldn't feel like you have to, Lucy replied, her tone firm yet kind. Healing isn't linear. Emotions ebb and flow. How do you know all this? Emily asked, curiosity sparking amid her sadness. Lucy smiled softly. Let us just say I've had my fair share of storms. But it's the storm that helped me find the rainbow. Rainbow? Emily mirrored, intrigued. Yeah, Lucy continued, her eyes shining with conviction. It means after every storm there's beauty. You just have to stick around for it. Emily didn't respond, but she pondered those words as they continued their walk. A part of her wanted that rainbow, a glimpse of hope beyond the chaos, past the pain. Lucy turned toward Emily. Why don't we do something fun this weekend? An adventure to shake things up. Emily hesitated. The idea of stepping out of her usual rhythm felt daunting. Like what? How about the festival downtown? They have music, food stalls, games. It'd be great to just enjoy life without thinking about everything else. Emily considered it. The idea twinkled at the edges of her mind, a flicker of excitement fighting against the backdrop of her heartache. That sounds actually fun. Great, Lucy exclaimed, her enthusiasm contagious. Trust me, it'll be good for you. We'll have the best time. As the week rolled on, Emily wrestled with anticipation and anxiety. Each day felt lighter with Lucy's friendship, but she still grappled with moments of despair when Jake's face flashed behind her eyelids like a cruel joke. What if he showed up? Would the memories flood back, knocking her down? But a deeper voice inside whispered dreams that felt new, a sense of reclaiming herself that had been lost for so long. And so, it was with half-skept expectations that she prepared for the festival. Saturday arrived with a burst of sun and laughter. Emily and Lucy arrived, the air filled with tantalizing smells and vibrant energy surrounding them. They dove into the celebration, dancing amid colorful banners, the music pulling Emily out of her shell little by little. But just as they were laughing over a plate of funnel cake, Emily's gaze fell on someone across the way. It was Jake. Her heart stopped. It felt like ice water coursed through her veins. Would this be the defining moment of her journey? Would she have the courage to confront him or let his presence drown her? As Jake turned, their eyes met, and time stood still. Emily's breath hitched, and her chest tightened. The crowd faded, colors swirling into the background until it was just them. What would happen next? Would she cling to the past or step firmly into her future? Emily felt as if the world had gone mute, the vibrant sounds of laughter and music dimming to a whisper. In that instant, everything she had been feeling, the hope, the joy, the shattered dreams, collapsed into a single, heart-stopping moment. Jake stood there, handsome as ever, with a look of boredom plastered across his face. He was talking to someone, a woman whose hair glimmered in the sunlight, and for a brief second, Emily's heart twisted into a knot. Hey, let's go see that band! Lucy's voice cut through Emily's fog, her hand tapping Emily's shoulder with cheerful urgency. But Emily couldn't move. All she could do was stand there, a deer caught in headlights. Emily? You good? Lucy's concerned tone brought her back to reality, but the heaviness in her chest remained. I think I need a moment, Emily finally managed to say, her voice barely above a whisper. She stepped away from the crowd, her mind racing faster than her heart. The festival, once a beacon of light, now felt suffocating. She found a secluded spot near some trees, where the laughter and music faded into the background. With her back against the rough bark, she closed her eyes, trying to breathe through the storm that raged within. Memories of their life together crashed over her like waves, moments of laughter, warmth, and love, now tainted by betrayal. Suddenly, her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a text from Lucy. Where do you go? Are you okay? Taking an unsteady breath, Emily typed back. Just need a minute. As she stared into the blank screen, conflicted emotions roared inside her. Part of her wanted to run back and flee, to never see Jake again. but the other part fueled by Lucy's words about healing and rainbows yearned to confront the memories head-on. Would it show strength or vulnerability if she faced him? She opened her eyes, casting her gaze across the crowd. The band was just starting to play a lively tune, and people were swaying, lost in the moment. But her attention was drawn back to Jake. He was laughing, the sunlight dancing on his features as he leaned in closer to the woman next to him. That laugh, it used to be her favorite sound. With a rush of determination, Emily wiped her eyes, trying to shake off the weakness that threatened to pull her under. She couldn't hide anymore. One part of her felt like she was stepping to the edge of an abyss. The other surged with wild strength. "Go out there," she whispered to herself. "You can do this." Taking a deep breath, she emerged from her hiding spot, each step grounding her, building that flicker of excitement from earlier. The festival's energy wrapped around her, its vibrant colors filling her spirit with an unexpected spark. But as she approached, Jake turned, that same boredom replaced by a moment of surprise. He opened his mouth to speak, perhaps to ask her why she was there. But before he could utter a word, Emily spoke first, her voice steady. "We need to talk." The surrounding laughter faded away. She could feel the weight of the world upon her shoulders, but this was at the moment where she would choose her future over the past. Jake's expression shifted, uncertainty etching itself across his face. "Emily, I didn't expect to see you here." Ignoring the stab of anger, Emily steadied herself. "You're not the only one living life." His brows furrowed. "What do you mean?" It was now or never. Would she spill her heart, or call his bluff? She bit her lip, contemplating what to say next, the eyes of festival-goers brushing by them like silent witnesses to the final act of her heartbreak. And just then, a voice broke the tension, a familiar yet foreign one. "Hey, Jake." "Who is this?" The woman he'd been talking to stepped forward, her demeanor casual, as if she could sense the rising tension in the air. Emily's heart raced. Would this encounter reveal everything, an opportunity for catharsis, or the beginnings of something entirely new? As she prepared to respond, another feeling surged forward, something more potent than anxiety or sadness. Could it be courage? "Let us clear the air," she said. Finally, locking eyes with both Jake and the woman beside him. Whatever came next, Emily would face it head-on. And she didn't know how it would end, but she could feel the possibility of that rainbow drawing closer. Would this conversation finally shatter the chains of her past? A tense silence hung in the air as Emily steadied herself, searching for the right words. The woman beside Jake had her arms crossed, curiosity painted across her face. It was as if time itself had paused, the festival buzzing around them, oblivious to this dramatic moment unfolding. "Clear the air?" Jake echoed, his voice tinged with confusion. "About what?" Emily felt the weight of his gaze, and with it, the memories of their past came crashing down like waves. "About us. About everything." "Everything?" He shot back, incredulous. "Don't you think you're making a scene?" The blood pulsed in her ears. The crowd that had been vibrant moments ago now felt like an audience waiting for a show to unfold. "You're the one who made a scene, Jake. I thought I had a chance to fight for us, but it looks like you've already moved on." His gaze flickered to the woman next to him, who was now watching the exchange closely. "Emily, that's not fair. Things ended between us a long time ago." "Things ended because you chose to betray me," Emily countered, her voice rising slightly. "And now you stand there with a new woman like I'm nothing." "Hey," the woman interjected, raising her eyebrows in surprise. "I don't know what is going on here, but it seems like you both have some unfinished business to address." "Unfinished business?" Emily spat, feeling flames of anger and resentment rise. "This is about something much deeper than that. This is about the trust you shattered and the love you threw away." Jake squirmed, glancing at the woman who looked between them, her expression shifting from curiosity to concern. "Emily, this isn't how I envisioned seeing you again," he said, his voice softer now. The pit in Emily's stomach twisted as she fought back tears. The masks of indifference and defiance felt heavy, but under it all was an undeniable sense of liberation. "Well, I didn't choose this moment either, but here we are," she replied fiercely, finally breaking through the barrage of emotions. Everyone else faded into the background. It was just the three of them in this spinning world. Jake opened his mouth to say something, but Emily pressed on before fear could steal her words. "I trusted you, Jake. I believed in us. And even now, with all this hurt, there's something clinging to the edges of my heart. I thought maybe we could find a way back." "Back?" Jake whispered, looking almost alarmed. "Emily, it's too late for that." Emily squared her shoulders, something inside her igniting with determination. "It might not be too late for me to move forward, though. I need to know why you did it. What made you throw away what we had?" The woman shifted slightly, drawing in closer as if sensing the turmoil. "You owe her that, Jake," she said, her voice firm yet encouraging. Jake looked trapped, his jaw clenched. "You don't understand, Em? I was scared. We were stuck, and what? You thought it was okay to betray me?" Emily interrupted, heart racing. "You know it doesn't matter why you did it. What matters is that you did." Just when he seemed ready to respond, a loud cheer erupted from the crowd, drawing the attention of festival-goers who were already starting to drift towards the band. A cacophony of energy filled the air, but it felt muted in their space, enveloped in an electric tension. The woman reached out slightly, her expression softening. "Hey, we all make mistakes. Maybe this is a moment to heal rather than to lash out." Emily took a deep breath, the heat of anger cooling just enough to let clarity into her mind. "I don't want to lash out, but I do need to hear the truth. What will it take for you to admit it was wrong?" Jake's eyes darted away, uncertainty flickering across his face. The festival faded, but something powerful was happening between them. But before they could delve deeper into the weight of their truths, the woman beside him spoke up again. "Jake, you owe her this. No more running from the past. You need to decide what you really want." Emily's heart pounded. It was a moment of reckoning, fraught with possibility and heartbreak alike. As Jake opened his mouth, the words teetering on the tip of his tongue, Emily braced herself for whatever was to come. Would he choose honesty, or would he retreat back into the shadows of the past? The air thickened with anticipation, and Emily felt the stakes rise higher than before. "Tell me," she urged, every syllable soaked in desperation, "do you even want me back?" Silence lingered, heavy and expectant. What would Jake reveal, and would it change everything once again? Jake stared back at Emily, his eyes wide and searching. The weight of the moment seemed to crush the space between them, expectation crackling in the air. He blinked, and for a moment, the mask of indifference slipped. "Emily, he hesitated, words choking him. "I never wanted to hurt you." His voice was strained, as though each syllable forced its way out against his will. "Then why did you?" Emily pressed, her heart racing as if it were a race against time. "Why did you betray everything we built together?" The laughter and chatter of the festival swirled around them, a stark reminder of the joy they once shared. The woman beside Jake remained silent, her gaze fixed on him, an ally caught between two hearts in turmoil. Jake swallowed hard, the fight leaving his eyes. "It was easier to run to someone else than to face the mess I created. I thought I could handle it, but it spiraled out of control," he confessed, his voice cracking like glass. Emily felt her insides twist as the truth spilled out, each word a fresh wound. "You replaced me, Jake. You walked away from our family, leaving everything in shambles. What you did can't just be brushed over with an apology. You'll have to face the consequences." "I know," Jake said earnestly, desperation radiating from him. I know I'm messed up. I'd do anything to take it back. I just want a chance to make it right. Silence enveloped them again, an unsettling pause. Emily gazed at him, heart pounding. Make it right? By what? Jumping back into our lives like nothing's happened? You tore my world apart. I can't just forget that. Maybe I can help you rebuild it, he suggested, his voice barely above a whisper, vulnerability creeping in. I'll do the work. I'll be there every step. Just give me a chance. The woman beside him, bringing an unexpected layer of support to the confrontation, leaned in slightly, her tone softening. Emily, if you don't feel ready, that's okay. But if he is reaching out, it's because he truly wants to learn from this. Isn't that worth considering? Emily met Jake's gaze, pleading and earnest, and felt a fleeting flicker of something, a remnant of what had once been precious between them. But just then, she caught sight of the playful festival around her. Families were smiling, children were laughing. Could she really revisit this fractured history while standing amid the brightness of life? Learning takes time, she said finally, her heart weary but resolute. It's not simply about wanting to fix what is broken. It's about recognizing the impact of what you did. I can't let your mistakes dictate my happiness. I need to find my joy again. Jake's shoulders slumped, the weight of her words heavy. And what if that joy is with me? She shook her head, tears welling once more. But they were different now, an understanding, a bittersweet acceptance of the truth. I don't know, maybe you're right. It's just everything feels so raw still, and I can't jump into something I'm not ready for. Jake nodded slowly, absorbing her earnestness. I want to push. I just need you to know I'm here, ready to fight for whatever chance you might give me. As their eyes locked, Emily felt a rush of warmth surge through her, but in the background, a reality remained. I still have to figure out who I am without you, Jake. It's about more than just you and me. It's about my kids, our future, and what I need to find my own happiness. Then let us take it one step at a time, Jake offered gently. I'll help you along the way, whatever it looks like. Just don't shut me out completely. With the crowd of festival-goers still milling around them, she turned to the woman beside Jake, who watched their exchange intently. I'm starting tomorrow, regardless of your presence. Maybe I will indulge in some fun, even without all this burden. Exactly. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Lucy's voice chimed from behind her, and Emily turned to see her friend hurrying over. You okay? Lucy asked, concern painted across her features. I think I will be. Emily shared, a fresh surge of resolve rushing through her. With a final glance at Jake, she turned her back on the past. But I can only do this if I detach from the chaos you brought into my life. I need to keep moving forward. That said, she stepped away, gripping Lucy's arm, feeling a newfound strength swell within her. As they walked off together, the music of the festival nudged at her ears, a mix of memories and hope intertwining. For the first time, she felt free. Though the path ahead was still unclear, she was determined to explore it with her own heart intact. And perhaps, in doing so, she would discover that the brightest rainbows often follow the darkest storms. Meanwhile, behind her, the silence lingered uncertainly between Jake and the woman next to him. Do you think she'll really give you that chance? The woman asked, curiosity flaring in her eyes, breaking the quiet air. I don't know, Jake replied softly, yet a small hope stirred within him. But I'll fight for it, I owe her that much. In that moment, all of them had chosen a new beginning. And Emily walked on, determined to forge her way into a brighter tomorrow, whatever it took. If you felt the power of Emily's journey and transformation, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and let everyone know this story matters. Comment your feelings about this ending. What did it mean for you? And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You know they'll thank you for it.